Welcome, everybody. This is Fantasy Football Not Suitable for Work. Tonight is just me and Bill, and we got a quickie show for you tonight because, well, I'm exhausted, and Bill's got some big plans for the night. Tell him what you're doing, Bill.
May or may not be going to a casino. That's for another time.
And pay. Make sure you check out Bill's other channel, McGlaven Slagasm. It's excellent. So,
Sure.
let's go ahead and start with the news. I'm sure by now everybody's heard Ezekiel Elliott's suspension has been postponed. Haven't really read into it too much, but from what I can tell, it's entirely possible that he's going to play the whole season. What do you think, Bill? What do you think the odds of him playing all season are?
It's starting to sound good, actually. I just had a chance to graze over the details because I've been busy all night. But so basically, the judge granted an injunction, so he'll be able to continue playing as the legal process plays out. And at this point, it's irritating because you still don't know anything for sure. But it's becoming things are looking better and better for Zeke Elliott and the Cowboys. We'll just continue to follow it.
Nice. Yeah. It's kind of playing out just exactly the way I said last episode, wasn't it?
Shut the fuck up.
I have a super strong suspicion that that's why Sam doesn't want to join us tonight for everybody out there. So if you're missing Sam, it's because he doesn't want to hear me gloat.
It could be. That could be the reason.
Any other news?
We talked about last night's game.
Yeah. Seen that Eric Berry's out for the season. Ruptured his teeth. That's unfortunate.
That sucks, man. So bad.
Man.
It's so bad.
All that guy wants to do is play. That's all he wants to do is play.
He continues to face adversity, and he continues to come out on top. So hopefully that's the case after this one.
Let's hope so. Best wishes to Eric Berry. How about that game last night, Bill? I didn't see any of that coming. I anticipated Kareem Hunt to have a semi sort of okay night. I expected Gillisley to maybe get 8 to 10 touches, 40 yards, maybe a touchdown, but last night really blew my mind. I don't know, that Kareem Hunt. Do you see him being able to put up points like that again this season, or do you think that's just a one-time thing?
Well, you can't ever expect a player to put up points like that. But I think we got an idea of what his production is going to look like. I mean, he's a full-on workhorse back in an Andy Reid offense. I mean, they're going to use him in the passing game. They're going to use him almost exclusively on the ground. It's amazing. It's fantasy gold. And I wish I had him on more than just one team.
Unbelievable. Nobody's seen that production. On the flip side of the coin, same with Gillisley. Gillisley put up 3 touchdowns. What was his total yardage? Wasn't it only 50 or 60 yards? It wasn't.
No, yeah, it was 44 or something. I mean, good job on us for having those stats in front of us. But still, yeah, it was less than 50 yards. He's not going to, he might have another game like that this season where he gets 3 TDs, but mostly it's encouraging to see him getting that goal line work, similar to LeGarrette Blount. But, you saw James White I think Gillisley had 18 touches and to James White's 15. Burkhead and Dion Lewis had a few sprinkled in there. So it's got to be, I think we didn't learn a whole lot except for when they get in close to the goal line. Gillisley will definitely get his chance at TDs, but I remember I texted you guys right before Kareem Hunt's second TD, that long reception TD. I said, yeah, Gillisley's getting the goal line work, which is nice, but Kareem Hunt looks like the stud, and he didn't even have half of his production for the night at that point. He took care of business.
Mm-hmm. Gillisley wound up with 15 carries for 45 yards and 3 touchdowns. So it definitely looks like he's sliding right into that LeGarrette Blount role. But with Bill Belichick, you can never tell.
Yeah, and 15 carries for 45 yards isn't all that spectacular, you know?
It's really not. I think my major takeaway from last night's game is the Patriots can be beat deep. It looked like the Chiefs were just taking the top off their defense, slinging the rock downfield, and it worked for them. That was just absolutely incredible.
How about Alex Smith?
Right?
Jesus Christ.
He got out of his old man rocking chair off his porch and then went out and just fucking demolished the Patriots. It is absolutely incredible. Totally not what I was expecting.
That Patrick Mahomes pickup might have just lit a fire under his ass.
Yeah, it had to have, because I don't know. Do you think Alex Smith is someone that people should go out and pick up off the waiver wire?
I don't know yet. You want to be careful about coming to any conclusions week one, whether they're good or bad, because you see it every year. Someone underperforms and people freak out, and when people overperform. So I'm like tempering expectations on Kareem Hunt. I do think he's going to be a ridiculous fantasy asset. Alex Smith, he's going to have those types of games, and then he'll have the 200-yard, 1 TD, 1 interception type games too. You know that's coming. Yeah. So I'm not rushing out right now to get him on my fantasy team, but I think if he has another game or two like he did last night, then things can change. Same with Gronkowski and Kelsey really had low games. I'm not freaking out about either of those guys. You're keeping them.
Yeah. You could definitely tell the Patriots were missing Edelman underneath, though. That seems to be their game. The quick slants underneath the defense and get the ball into open space. They tried sliding Amendola into that role, but that didn't work.
That's the other thing I'm not going to freak out about is Tom Brady. You know what I mean? And we see it every year. Anytime he has a bad game, the people rush to say, "Oh, it's done. He finally, Father Time caught up." Blah blah blah. That might be the case, but we can't determine that after one game. So,
especially the season opener.
Yeah, if I'm a Tom Brady owner, I'm standing pat because you never count out Tom Brady and Bill Belichick until they're actually done. I'm gonna not count them out. It's football, any team can win any given Sunday or Thursday or Monday, and that's what makes the sport so great.
Now, another player I want to talk about is Tyreek Hill's performance last night. Now, outside of that, was it a 75-yard touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
He really didn't do much. I believe it was 6 catches for 58 yards. That's if I'm doing the math right. I'm just pulling up his overall stats, but he doesn't, for where he was drafted, that outside of that one big touchdown caused by the broken defense, it doesn't seem like he put up the production to warrant the value or the price he paid during draft to take him.
I think he did. And I'll tell you why. He had 8 targets. He came out like halfway through the fourth quarter. He had 8 targets. He caught 7 of them, and that's what Tyreek Hill does. He's a big play guy. You put the ball in his hands. And I think the stat was like six games straight of 60-yard plus play out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a huge playmaker, but he also got the touches. I mean, when you look at 8 targets, and if he would have stayed in through the whole game, it probably would have come up to like 10 targets. I'll take, a 10-target guy all day, every day, especially with that athleticism and that big playability.
Did you see the stat that they showed a graphic on the game last night of him? They put the red line where Tariq would be in that 100-yard dash or whatever. I did not realize he was that fast. I knew he was fast, but I didn't realize he was world-class fast.
Yeah, he's like the fastest guy in the NFL.
Yeah, that's absolutely mind-blowing. Now, one more player. How about Travis Kelce? Well, let's lump Kelsey and Gronk together because it was bad performances for both of them. Eric Berry did a really good job on Gronk last night, but Kelsey had a couple bounce off his hands that he typically catches. You concerned about Kelsey?
No, I think it was just a game flow thing. I mean, he's going to be first or second in targets on the team when all is said and done. And I think he'll be fine. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to worry about something after one game. I did that last year. I actually drafted him, and I drafted him pretty late. And then I think he had a couple of bad games, and I ended up giving him up. And then he ended up finishing like tight end 1. You know what I mean?
In my other league, I did the exact same thing. I dropped him. I think after week 2, I just wound up dropping him just because it was such garbage. And then, sure enough, he finished as a tight end 1. I really hate the tight end position in fantasy, but you can't just go all RBs and wide receivers. And
yeah, that was a joke. Yeah, absolutely.
No. I mean, it makes total sense, and
as much as Sam hates tight ends, and they can be frustrating, but it's just one slot on our whole fan. And when you play it right, and you don't even have to worry about getting one of those top guys. I mean, you can stream options, from week to week, just based on matchup, and you know what I mean. But yeah, Kelsey. Not worrying about him yet. It's just 1 week, and he'll be fine. I thought he looked okay, actually. Weird things are going to happen where they don't catch a ball they're supposed to or whatever. But, if Alex Smith keeps slinging the rock the way he does, then they're going to be in good spots for Kelsey to do some damage.
Yeah, I agree. Just for the simple fact that there's nobody else. Well, except Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt looks like a very viable receiver.
Oh, boy. Yes, he does.
Any other takeaways from last night's game that you want to get to?
No, just I think I was putting KC like 3rd in the AFC West standings, and right now they look like they're going to be the team to beat.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, losing Eric Berry, that's a huge loss, but yeah, they do look like the team to beat for now.
You want to take a couple of minutes and do some picks on the games?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Let's just go in order. Let's talk about, very quickly, Jets at Buffalo.
Oh, shit. Buffalo by 3, 10-6, or 10-7.
Yeah, I'll take Buffalo, too. Next, Atlanta at Chicago.
Atlanta's definitely going to win. I'm not sure about the point spread on that. No, how big is their point spread?
I don't have it. It's probably like 10 points or more.
Yeah, I gotta apologize for being totally unprepared. They have been working me like a dog down here, and I just haven't had time to do anything fun.
It's fine. Hi, Linda. Sorry, Linda joined us. It's fine. People understand. I've been helping my parents move the last 2 days. You're in Houston, helping out down there. We've got stuff going on. It's all fine. Let's not worry about spreads. Let's just pick straight up winners.
All right. That works for me.
I'm with you in Atlanta. Let's talk Ravens at Bengals.
I think Cincinnati wins at home. They got a high-powered offense. Baltimore's kind of depleted. Joe Flacco hasn't spent any time with his offensive players, hasn't built any rapport with Macklin or Woodhead for that matter. So I like Cincinnati in that game.
I like Bengals too. I just think they have the deeper roster.
No, agree.
Steelers at Browns.
Steelers next.
It's funny. I'm hearing some like hero picks out there for Cleveland. Just, Pitt's offense could be a little bit rusty, and we don't really know what we're getting out of Cleveland. Obviously, though, I'm taking Steelers. Cardinals at Lions. That should be a good game.
That should be good. It should be plenty of fantasy points. I mean, it should be a shootout because Detroit really has no defense, and the Cardinals haven't looked that hot on defense. So, yeah, I'd expect a lot of points. Cardinals come out on top.
Yeah, I'll take the Cards with you. Hopefully we're going to disagree on something here. Let me take this one here. Jacksonville at Houston. Here's what's funny. Like, I think you got two good defenses, and I do expect Jacksonville to have a good defense. I don't know how good, but good. And we already know what Houston can do. And two, like, middling offenses, nothing very impressive about their offense. So they got a couple of good receivers, but we haven't seen Fournette yet. Lamar Miller hasn't really been amazing. So you always like want to pick a game like this to be low scoring, and then they end up being super high scoring, right? Doesn't this always
happen? Yeah. This has low scoring written all over it, but
so it'll end up being like 35-28 or some shit.
Yeah, it'll be ridiculous. Who you taking on this one?
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to take Houston.
See, I think I'm going to take Jacksonville on this one. I'd like to see Fournette come out and see what he can do. I mean, Houston's got a pretty good rush defense, but maybe it's time for Blake Bortles to redeem himself.
It is. You know what? I'd like to see Jacksonville surprise some people because they've been building. I mean, other than their really questionable quarterback, they've been building. They've been installing a lot of great pieces, but I think we got to think about what's been going on in Houston and what J.J. Watt's been doing down there. I mean, they're riled up. They're playing for their city.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, look what New Orleans did when Katrina hit. They went and won the freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'll bet you J.J. Watt and his defense they're going to be fired up and just ready to clean heads. So.
Yeah.
So finally, okay, you take Jacksonville, I'll take Houston. We'll come back and take a look and see who is right.
All right.
Raiders at Titans.
This one, of course, I want to take Tennessee, but Tennessee really struggled at home against the Raiders last year, and I don't know that we made enough adjustments. I mean, maybe our secondary slightly improved. Our front seven's awesome. I don't think Marshawn Lynch has a very good game at all. But I'm going to have to take the Raiders on this one as much as I don't want to.
Okay. I'm actually taking the Titans.
Really?
Oh, yeah. All right. Oakland's got a questionable secondary. Mariota's like super efficient, super accurate. You got Eric Decker now. The freaking red zone man, he's going to be catching TD. You got your badass running back tandem. You got Delaney Walker, really solid O-line, and you're at home. I mean, if it was in Oakland, I'd probably give it to Oakland. Just right now, not having seen either team play this season, but I'm going to give it to the home team here. I think Tennessee is going to do some work.
Yeah, the only reason why I can't hop on Tennessee, their home field advantage isn't that much of an advantage. They're not very good at home. And Mariota posted his worst numbers of the season against the Raiders at home last season. So, all right, let's move on. I know you're dying to talk about this one. How about Philly at Washington?
Dude, Philly's got one of the sickest front sevens in the league. They're going to give Kirk Cousins fits on Sunday, and they're going to walk away with a win. No problem.
I agree. Terrell Pryor's looked like trash this preseason. I think he had? A total of 7 targets and dropped 3 of them. That's I'd give a nod to Philly on this one too.
Okay. Moving on. Colts at Rams. I'm taking the Rams all day in this, baby.
You know what? I think so too. Just Scott Tolzien, that super poor bottom 5 defense of the Indianapolis Colts. I like the Rams, and I think Todd Gurley has a fantastic game this game.
Yeah, I like him as a bounce back guy this year too. So I think the Rams are going to surprise some people. And, if Andrew Luck was playing, we're talking a different story, but not with Scott Tolzien. So let's give that one to the Rams. And this might be the game of the week right here. Freaking Seahawks at Packers. Woo!
Yeah. Ooh. That game
Talk about that.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is going to go in and do Aaron Rodgers things. I think it's going to be super high scoring, even though Seattle's got a top-notch defense. But I think it's going to be a shootout. Lots of fantasy points, lots of real-life points. I believe this is the highest over-under of the week as well. So, but as far as a winner, I got to take Aaron Rodgers at home.
I don't really have anything to add. Same. Two great teams. Green Bay is kind of weak in the secondary, but I'm going to give it to Aaron Rodgers at home. They've fared well against Seattle at home.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Panthers at Niners. Interesting game. What do you got?
Got to go with the Panthers, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of point. I don't think this is going to be a very entertaining game to watch this weekend. I don't think it's going to be a very interesting fantasy game. I'm thinking like a maybe 17-10, 17-13, something like that. Super boring, super low scoring. And I don't think it's a defensive struggle. I think it's just so many mistakes on the offense on both sides of the ball. Just keeps this game low scoring, but Carolina comes out on top.
Yeah, I think San Francisco is going to surprise some people this year. Do I think they're a playoff team? Probably not, but you know what? They win 2 games last year. I can see them winning like 6, 7 games. I love their coach. I love the addition of Pierre Garçon. Carlos Hyde's a stud. Speaking of which, did you want to talk about how you gave me Pierre Garçon for Darren McFadden?
I was in a hurry. I was working. I didn't really think that one through. But he was towards the bottom of my receiver core, and I really did want to lock up the whole Zeke thing in case I was wrong. It was kind of an unnecessary trade, and I took that in the short.
That team that we did the trade with, you are super deep at receiver, so it didn't hurt you that much. Yeah. Whereas I'm not super deep at receiver, so adding a number 1 like Pierre Garçon, I don't know what he's actually going to do, but he's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way. Regardless, I agree. I'll take it.
I agree. Yeah, and just in that league where I was so thin at running back, it was the league that we drafted on Tuesday on the show. But where I was just so light at running back, I had to lock up that Cowboys running game. I couldn't take the risk in that league the way I took it in the other league. Yep. So, speaking of Cowboys, next game, Giants at Dallas. What do you think?
You know what? With everything that's gone on, I have to give this game to Dallas, I think. It's in Dallas. They're fully loaded. They've got all their weapons. I'm sure they're fired up and pissed off. And New York swept them last year, so they've also got that revenge on their minds. So as much as I hate to say it, because I hate Dallas even more than the Giants, I originally, and to anyone watching, I gave a couple of our viewers some picks before all this Zeke stuff went down, and I gave it to the Giants, and now I'm flip-flopping, and I think Dallas is going to win, but I hope not.
See, I'm going to take the Giants, even if Odell doesn't play. I still think the Giants got enough weapons and enough firepower to get past Dallas. They've got zero defense, and Zeke and Dak really struggled against the Giants' defense last season. I think the Giants own them again this year. I like that this game's week 1. It really sets a tone for the NFC East, I think. And, I'm going to give this one to the Giants. I think Eli balls out this week.
Okay. Saints at Vikings.
This is a game I want to watch. I want to see AP's homecoming.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to come out with that chip on his shoulder, and he's going to just really stick it to the Vikings. And then after this game, I think AP is going to disappear for the rest of the season.
Probably.
But as far as a winner, New Orleans defense is slightly improved, especially the secondary. Improved running game, super high-powered offense. It's got to be New Orleans, and probably by double digits.
Okay, I'm going to give it to the Vikings, and I'll tell you why. Sam Bradford's better than he gets credit for. Stephon Diggs is an absolute stud waiting to happen. We saw glimpses last year. Dalvin Cook is exciting, and we already know what their defense can do. Add that into them being home, I think the Vikings are going to run away with it. They'll win by 10 points.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If you want to add something to that game, otherwise we'll just move
on. Not much. It just a thought that just occurred to me that I didn't think of before is Drew Brees home road splits, but it is in a dome, so I don't think it's going to affect him that much. I'm still going to stick with New Orleans.
Okay. Let's wrap it up then with Chargers at Broncos.
That's another game.
Yeah.
I really can't wait for this game. It's the late one on Monday night, so I'm probably not going to be able to watch it. But I like the Clippers. I mean, the Chargers. Like what I did there. I like the Chargers. Phillip Rivers, he ain't going to turn over the ball like he was last year. Broncos defense just cut TJ Ward. I think that's got to put a black cloud over the locker room. Anybody's expendable. And they really don't have that good a quarterback play. So I think the Chargers are going to take this one.
Me too. Got Joey Bosa on defense. He's an absolute stud. Got Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, Tyrell Williams, Hunter Henry. And then, of course, the Antonio Gates with Phillip Rivers connection. That old bastard still plays. I mean, they're just going to tear him up. Denver's got a great D, but there's too many weapons on the Chargers.
You can't guard all those weapons. You can't guard them all.
So we'll have to revisit this afterwards and see who picked the most games.
Yeah. We should really keep accuracy stats. That'd be awesome. See who comes out on top at the end of the year.
Give me two guys that you're starting on Sunday that you're super excited, whether you just think they're going to break out or you know they're going to break out and you just can't wait to get those points on your board.
I am extremely excited to start Martellus Bennett. I think he'll be the top tight end this week. I'm thinking maybe top 15 fantasy points this week. I'm really excited to see how the Packers are going to use him in their offense and to see how he plays. And if you remember Martellus Bennett from Chicago, September, October, those are his months, and then I'm going to drop him. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see Martellus Bennett play this week. And a guy I'm not starting, but I'm interested to watch. You mentioned him earlier, is Eric Decker. I want to see how he fits in our offense. Didn't get a chance to see him in preseason, so I'd like to see what he adds to our offense.
Okay. For me, one guy I've got on most of my teams is Ty Montgomery. I'm a believer in Ty Montgomery this year, so I'm excited. Even though he's got a tough matchup, I'm just excited to see. I want to see some good usage. I want to see him look good. I want to be excited about having him on my team. I got good value on him in both of the drafts I took him. It was in the middle rounds, so if he can turn into like a solid RB2 for me, then I'm going to be super excited because I did a real good job of drafting RBs, I think, this year, so I'm excited to get those guys going. Another one is just Le'Veon Bell. As you know, in our big money league, I took him first overall, and this is a guy that was in the championship last year with David Johnson. So it was a big deal for me to skip over him and take Le'Veon Bell. I've got my reasons, and I might look like an idiot now, but we'll see. We'll see when all the dust settles.
Yeah, I was super shocked when you said Le'Veon Bell that day. I even had my draft software pre-selected with the first 4 picks, and I had to reset everything after you said Bell.
Well, like I said, he caught 75 balls in 12 games. David Johnson caught 80 in 16 games. We are in a PPR league. Also, I like Pittsburgh's O-line better than Arizona's, and even though Antonio Brown's there, I'm not worried about Le'Veon Bell getting the work. He's going to get those touches.
Oh,
so it was just kind of a gut call. So we'll see how it works out. If not, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. One guy I'm super excited on your bench that I want to see how he's used is Joe Mixon. I'm really excited to see him come out this week, see what all the hype's about, see how Cincy's going to use him, see how the timeshare is split. Cincinnati wants nothing to do with Jeremy Hill. He's in a contract year. There's no way they're going to re-sign him. I think they're going to drive down his value as much as possible and just get Mixon prepped for that workhorse role,
So. I am excited about that. We'll see. He's on the bench until he's the clear starter. So for right now, he's an asset that I picked up in a good spot, and he's going to sit there until he starts getting the touches, and then we'll go from there. Maybe I definitely, if things pan out the way I think they do, then I'm going to have some good trade bait in a few leagues.
I agree. Shall we get to the meat and potatoes? Something I've been chomping at the bit to get to this episode.
Let's talk about it and then wrap it up.
All right. So last episode at the end, everybody remembers Sam throwing it out there. You want a deal for Ezekiel Elliot? So after the show, yes, I drank a 12-pack, and I probably shouldn't have been drinking and trading, but I did, and I made a deal for Zeke. I wound up with Zeke and Crowder for Fournette and Baldwin, and I caught a whole lot of shit for it. A whole lot of shit. Now, my thought process on the trade was I had a really strong feeling that I could make another trade with the player in our league that had run DMC. I was thinking I could get DMC on the cheap and lock up that Cowboys backfield in big money, as well as in our other league. Well, before I even had a chance to propose a DMC trade, he approached me for Ezekiel Elliott. And after all the smoke cleared and all that stuff, I wound up pulling Antonio Brown, Jamison Crowder, and Danny Woodhead for Michael Crabtree, Doug Baldwin, and Leonard Fournette.
Okay. Yes, you did.
I'm still a little nervous about it. I think I might have paid too much for Zeke up front, especially without knowing all the news. But to land AB and to pair him with Michael Thomas, to be able to land AB without giving up Michael Thomas and still having Melvin Gordon in that RB1 role, I really wanted to lock down 3 starting spots on my lineup week in and week out that I didn't have to stress about. And I feel like I did that and wound up with still a pretty solid wide receiver core. Still got Demaryius Thomas, still got DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm really high on Crowder, especially how terrible Terrell Pryor's been this season.
Yeah. I think you're in a pretty good spot. Your wide receiver core is looking pretty damn good, honestly. Now, just hold on a second. I'm just looking at your lineup. You have Crowder in and you're sitting Hopkins. Is that correct?
Yes. And I've been going back and forth over that one. The reason why I don't want to play Hopkins this week is because he's going to have AJ Bouye on him. And if anybody knows DeAndre Hopkins and his tendencies, it's going to be AJ. Yeah, I mean, they were teammates for a while. They practiced together. They went against each other 2-3 times a week for who knows how long. And I just don't see DeAndre having a great game this week. However, going forward, I think DeAndre has his bounce back year.
Okay. Well, I won't tell you how to start your lineup, but I think it's crazy.
And even though Jamison Crowder is going against that upgraded secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles, Terrell Pryor is going to see all the number 1 coverage. Jordan Reed's going to see the number 2 coverage. So I think Crowder operates in that, third option underneath role, maybe take the top off the defense. I just don't see him getting the attention that the other receiving weapons get. And that's why I made the decision to start Crowder over Hopkins this week. It may change come Sunday, but probably not.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Do you have anything you want to add before we go?
Just don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook. Catch us Tuesdays and Fridays. We'll do the best we can to be as prepared as we can. And, we'll see you guys later.
All right, see ya.
All right, later, buddy.